This member in my community just closed a $3,000 retainer in under 30 days. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to help him deliver. And the reason I'm doing this is because of two reasons. One, because I offer something called First Client Reward, where I personally help members with their first client. That way they can remove all the anxiety about service fulfillment and kickstart their career. And two, that way you guys can see how a seven-figure agency owner delivers results so you can copy the strategy, the thought process, and get up and running yourself. So let's print some money. Won a new client, $3,000 a month for 3 months. Still haven't niched down, working on this. So $3,000 a month retainer, x 3 months. In the meantime, this is a client that only works with business owners, entrepreneurs in any niche who generate $1 to $5 million a year. The amount of money they generate and their location is the only qualifier. My question is about how to qualify these businesses. I was thinking to purchase Apollo as it seems like it will tell me the revenue unconfirmed. Is there any other way to find this information cheaper than Apollo? So congratulations, my friend. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I would deliver for this types of clients. So essentially his client's target is business owners and entrepreneurs generating $1 to $5 million annually. So any industry, any location. Okay. Now the qualifiers here are annual revenue, which is going to be $1 to $5 million a year. The role is going to be business owner or entrepreneurs because this is exactly what his client wants to talk to. We have the location, which is basically anywhere globally in industry, any niche, any vertical. That's it. So super broad targeting, and it's based purely on revenue range and ownership status. So our friend's client doesn't really care about what industry they're in, what services they offer, where they're located geographically, and what their business model is. They only care about whether they run their own business and whether they generate $1 to $5 million annually. Now, this is actually pretty smart targeting. A lot of businesses and coaches and consultants, if you guys don't know, usually these business owners, like they are big enough to have the budget for premium services, and they're also small enough to still have direct owner involvement. And also they are usually in growth mode most of the time. They need help scaling, and also accessible because they always mention that I'm a business owner. I make $1 to $5 million a year, always, especially in LinkedIn. So how do we find these people instead of Apollo? So we're going to use a platform called exa.ai, which is this platform. Exa.ai. Now, this platform is pretty interesting. I've showed this multiple times in this channel. It's kind of like Clay, but on steroids. So usually you just give it in plain text what you want, any target really, like companies hiring, people, anything like research papers, and they just go ahead and crawl the web. They just go into the internet and then they extract the data, feed it to AI, and then they just give you the list, right? Which is pretty interesting. So I'm going to go to websites. So essentially just go to websites. And then I'm going to leave you like a code to use Exa because I've been in their webinar, and it essentially just give me like a free coupon code. So if you guys want to use it, I'll just leave it in the blueprint. So we're just gonna click on people. So you see a lot of like interesting things here. So like people, companies, research papers, article, etc. So you go to workflow, you see find customers, market research, find research papers, and even source talents for recruitment agencies, which is insane, right? So what we want is business owners and entrepreneurs generating $1 to $5 million. So we're just gonna have to copy this. You're gonna see the magic. So copy, Control C. So we want business owners and entrepreneurs, and we're gonna copy this entire thing. So annual revenue $1 to $5 million USD, role business owner or entrepreneur, location anywhere. Okay, so once we have this, we're just gonna click on enter. So Exa is going to go ahead and give us like a preview of these people that we want to target. So current business owner or entrepreneur owns or operates a company with annual revenue between 1 to 5 million. Company can be in any industry or vertical located anywhere globally. So there we go. We found a couple people here. Now, in terms of enrichment, we want the so we do have the full name, so we don't really need the full name. Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna go to custom, and this is where you put how many results you want. So let's just put 500 and click on start search. So now Excel is gonna go ahead, instead of just previewing the search, is gonna actually give us these leads, okay, these people, which is there we go. We have the name, company, URL. That was pretty quick, as you guys can see. So I believe they have like an AI agent that does this under the hood, but like not these AI agents that you see gurus are building, like actual AI agents that actually do the real stuff. So you're gonna notice that if it's within our criteria, you will see that search criteria. So this is the criteria that we gave to XApp, and it's gonna check, right? So if it's a business owner, so it's gonna give you the reasoning. And it's gonna give you match, 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 right? If it's unknown, it's gonna give you unknown. So you only want to deal with leads or records here that have the match, match, match. So if I click on it, you will see that, okay, this guy's LinkedIn has his current position as co-founder at X company since 1998. The profile also describes as a bilingual entrepreneur and leader. This clearly indicates that he is a current business owner or entrepreneur. Let's check the Okay, so the LinkedIn profile said that Las Palmas Cigar Company reached over 4 million in annual gross sales by 2014. So there we go. This falls within the 1 million to $5 million range. So that is very, very powerful. So from 139 results analyzed, we got 60 matches, which is insane. So right now, the only thing you have to do is basically just wait, grab a coffee, and just wait for AXA to give you the data. We're already at 70 matches. And since we put 500, so 500 results, at the end, we're going to get 500 matches, okay? So the only thing I have to do right now is basically just wait. And then I'm going to get back to you guys once AXA just finishes gathering the leads for me. All right, we are done. We just found 490 matches in a couple minutes. Okay, so what do we want now? We want to add the website URL of each lead. So simply click on Add Column, Criteria, and then let's just put company website URL starting with www. Okay, and then we're gonna run on all rows. So the cool part about Alexa, you can just literally type in plain text, and AI reads through your requests in plain text and then just enriches for you. So you will notice that this field is gonna start populating into all of these leads that we have here. There's a gold mine of data. So we just have to wait a little bit, and then Alexa is gonna start populating. So there we go. So I see a couple things here, a couple errors. Okay, so let's just edit this. So edit column, output the final URL with nothing else. So it's kind of like talking to ChatGPT. Edit all rows. So it's gonna edit for us. Because you will see here that we have this extra www. I don't want it, right? And you don't want it either. So let's see. All right, so that was fixed. Okay, now it's good. So it's given us the right URLs. Okay, awesome. There we go. So let's just wait for a little bit, because the next step is basically just exporting the data from Excel. So the cool part about Excel, they allow you to just click one button, which is going to be export, and then you can just get access to the entire list here. So it's populating because we have 490. All right, done. So now we can just click on export. The cool part about Excel, also they give you the ability to export this into Clay, even instantly lemless smartly, which is interesting, right? So we don't want that. We can just click on download CSV, and then we can see that CSV downloaded, okay? So right now, let's just dump everything into Google Sheets. If you want to basically create a Google Sheets, just type in sheets.new. It's like a new domain that created by Google. It's gonna allow you to save a bunch of minutes, okay? So click on File, and by the way, it also works for docs.new, which is pretty cool, right? So I'm gonna go to File, Import, Upload, and I'm simply gonna drag and drop the lists right here. And then I'm gonna go to Import Location, Append, and Import Data. There we go. So I have the URL, I have the website, etc. So I'm just gonna make this a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And then I'm just gonna text wrap this. And then again, I'm gonna resize the rows. So it's taking a fair bit of time because it's 500 leads. Resize, specify row height. Okay, sweet. So I'm just gonna delete some of the fields here that I don't want. Delete, and also delete. See, the cool part about Exa too, there's many things that are cool about Exa. They also give you the reasoning. So this is the reasoning. So it's gonna check if this lead is actually within our criteria. So it owns docs partner, multiple sources. So they don't just pull this out of their ass. Excuse my French, but they actually give you the reasoning. So I'm just gonna bolden this up, and I'm just gonna choose a color. So which color am I choosing today? So since I'm wearing blue, let's just use this color blue, and then let's make this white. Okay, so I'm just gonna name this business owners Exa. And then I'm going to add another field here, which is going to be email, because I will need to find their email. Make this geese. Awesome. So I have my lists here. Okay. Just looking at this, I don't want to deal with fields that are empty. So I'm going to create a filter, and then I'm going to filter by blanks. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to duplicate this sheets, just because when you want to access this, let's say for example NA10 or make, they're also gonna include the rows that are empty. Yeah, the rows that are empty. Yes. So I'm gonna copy this, and then same thing. I'm just gonna paste this here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna resize the row. Now I have everything that I need. So I'm just gonna delete the sheet one. And then let's just name this, for example, batch one. Okay. So now what do? Well, we can just start the enrichment process in NA10. So we're going to build a simple NA10 system, guys. Very simple, 2 to 3 steps going to allow us to find the emails and add to instantly so we can start the outreach. So let me just go to overview, and then I'm going to create a new workflow. Okay. So step 1 is I'm going to add a first step trigger manually. And then now I can essentially just look for Google Sheets and NA10. So Sheets, Google Sheets, get a row in a sheet. And then now I can go to documents, and I can find business owners and Exa, which is the name of the sheet. And obviously it's going to be batch one because it's batch one, right? So if I execute the step, I'm simply going to get all the records or all the leads rows here. So we're going to get 520. Okay, so it was 500 items at the end. Okay, which is awesome. Exa is pretty good. So right now, what do? Well, we need to begin the enrichment process, just like I said, by finding the emails. So there's multiple ways to find the emails. There's multiple email enrichment platforms that I recommend. The best one is actually an email finder, but this one is a little bit pricey. If I go to pricing, you will notice that, let's say you want to get the monthly, because you don't want to go for the yearly. So ideally, you'd want to get the 5K or like the 10K. Now it's $200. There's another one. It's called Hunter.io. Hunter.io pricing. Okay, this is the one. So I believe it's similar, if not cheaper, monthly. Okay, it's the same thing. Yeah. See, these email enrichment platforms are pretty expensive. This is the reason why I came up with my own platform. If you guys don't know, this is the platform that I built specifically for people in my community. This is like the Figma file. Basically, that includes how the platform works, if you're wondering. So we have, essentially, this is the dashboard. So everyone, like every member that joins, they got like this welcome screen. They have the ability to reset their password, and they put the username, their school email, and then they verify the email, and essentially they can get access to everything, which is the credits, email verified, even the API calls that they has for tracking purposes. They can even like just basically put the Google Sheets, just like that we did, and then we're gonna get like the valid emails, found emails, etc. So you will see the email verification. We have the history, which is pretty neat, right? In fact, I'm gonna show you guys how it works. So let me just unlink this so you can see it, and I'm gonna click on this plus button, add an HTTP request, and then let's say we want to find an email. So I'm gonna go to method post, and I'm gonna put my endpoint. Obviously, I'm gonna have to blur this. Send header is gonna be content type application JSON. And then we're going to go send body, and then it's going to be JSON. And then we're going to feed in the first name. Let's pick, for example, my name. Let's see if the platform is going to find it. Last name is going to be my last name. And then we're also going to feed in the domain. So my own company domain. And then we're going to close the brackets. There we go. So if I execute the step, you're going to notice that we're going to get something called permutations or combinations. So there we go. So if you're wondering what permutations are, essentially this is how these email enrichment platforms work under the hood. So permutation is basically combinations. So they try, for example, first name and last name in my company domain. They try first name, the first character, along with the first character of last name, and then along with the company domain to find the email. Okay, so we have 15 permutations. So as you can see here, count is 15, right? So we're trying 15 combinations to find the email, okay? Now, just to give you some context, the industry average is like 8 to 10 for like these platforms like Email Finder or Hunter. Now we have 15. So the ability for us to find the emails is insane. So if I scroll down, you will notice that they tried my last name, first name, last name, until they found accepted, which is my email address. Okay, so this is how it works under the hood. Okay, so since you guys don't have access to this, we're just gonna use an email finder. So let's just delete this and then link this. Okay, and then we're just gonna link this here. And then we're just gonna use an email finder, just like I said. So let's just go to an email finder. And then we're gonna go to app. And then this is my account here. I'm gonna go to API. And this is my API key. I'm going to go to full API documentation so I can use it. So find the person's email. Okay, so this is the endpoint. So we're just going to put it here, and then the method is going to be posts, because yes, posts here. And then authorization API key. Okay, so we need to go here, and then we need to go to authentication. Yes, generic. And I think I already have my API key here, I believe. Yeah, an email finder. Okay, I don't. So I can just generic credential type, and it's going to be bearer because it's bearer. Yeah, I believe it's bearer. So copy this, bearer. Obviously, you do not want to expose your API key just like I'm doing, because people can charge you, and that's not nice. Okay, so content type, we don't need this. Okay, so in terms of the body type, we're gonna use, okay, so specify body using fields below. So the name is gonna be full name, and then the second parameter is gonna be domain. So in terms of the value, you wanna pay attention to this, okay? So we're gonna put JSON bracket title, okay? So this is the correct JSON. And then again, the same thing we're gonna do, it's gonna be bracket JSON and the field that we have here. Okay, sweet. So let's just double check. So full name, yes, okay. So it's full name and domain. Okay, now we're gonna batch 50 by 50. So 50 and then 300 MS. And then let's just execute. Okay, 520 items. So we found a couple emails here. Okay, so we're gonna have to add a plus button here, and then we need to filter only if email is valid. Okay, so only if email status is equal to valid. Okay, so remove invalid. Okay, and then let's just pin this so we don't run the entire thing and waste our money. Let's see how many emails we have. So 368. Okay, so from 520, we found 368, which is pretty good. So now what do we do? Well, we need to add this to instantly. So I'm going to HTTP requests, and then I'm going to go to create lead. Okay, and this is Instantly's API documentation. Okay, so this is the endpoint. So Control C, then go back here. Method is going to be posts. And then again, we're going to do the same thing. So send, not send headers, authentication, predefined generic type. And I think I already have my own API key in Instantly. So I believe it's basic auth or header auth. Yeah, already have it. So instantly lead gen. If you're wondering how to get your instantly API key, you're simply gonna go to instantly, and then you're just gonna log in, and then this is the wrong account. And let me just log in. Yes, this is the one. And then I'm just gonna name this business owners 1 to 5M. Continue. Okay, and then you're gonna go to settings, and then you're gonna go to integrations, API keys, and version 1. I believe, no, it's a version 2. Yes, create new API key, name this whatever you want, and make sure scopes are all, okay? So let's go back, send body, and it's gonna be using JSON. And then if we go here, we will see they gave us the body that we want. So we'll just copy this entire thing, and we're not gonna use the entire thing, obviously. So let's just open this. So the campaign, okay, so campaign is gonna be the campaign ID here. So it's campaign / before analytics. And then just hard code it here. So I don't want the personalization. I don't want the website. Company name, yes, I need it. Assigned to block list. So I'll just delete all of this. There we go. So the email is going to be the email that we have from email. So email, paste it here. The last name, we unfortunately don't have the last name, so we're just going to have to use a formula, which is going to be JSON input full name dot split. Okay, so do the same thing here. So the full name is full name, and then you're going to add dot split, and instead of 0, we're going to put 1. See? So 0 just means 0, which is the first name, and 1 is the last name. So do we have the company name? Yes, we do. So company name. Okay, so this is the company. Company. There we go. I believe that's pretty much it. So let's see if we're gonna get rate limited first. So let's see. So done. We just added all our leads here. There we go. Now we're just gonna plug the copy, which is this one right here. And since our members client doesn't have like a specific industry, just like we talked about, well, without industry focus, our messaging is going to be pretty broad, okay? Just so we can appeal to the universal business owner, because as you can see, reaching out to business owners that are just doing $1 to $5 million a year. So we have multiple angles. For example, cash flow, scaling systems. Now I left you here 3 copies you can use, okay? You can essentially just use these copies if you have like a similar client. So let's just use this one. This is cash flow and financial management angle. So we're just going to copy this, paste it here. So the subject line is going to be cash flow optimization. Hey, first name, working with a financial consultant, and then just helped a similar business type. So for example, obviously we're not going to put the client's credentials. So just helped, for example, Mayo process or example company. Company's owner. So hey, first name, working with a financial consultant, etc. Okay. So there we go. We did everything here. I'm just going to add send from my iPhone and save. Preview. There we go. So this is how we essentially fulfill for similar clients. Okay, as you can see, it's very simple. We get in the leads from Excel, dump it into Google Sheets, finding the emails, removing the invalid, and it's essentially just plugging everything to instantly. Very straightforward, high ROI. So there we go. Now we have everything that you need. The only thing you have to do right now is simply just get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.